Thank you for joining us on Merit Matters, a virtual series highlighting current events, industry experts, and local community engagement. I'm your host, Tammy Berkwood, Principal of Merit Construction, and today I will be discussing our latest campaign, Build What Matters, with our new client, Skookum Archers, specifically Joe Moyer, their current president. I am excited for you to hear about their current programs and how Skookum Archers is expanding their facility to further serve our community.
I am so happy to have you here with us today, and I'm excited for our listeners to hear about who you are, about who Skookum is, and how long you've been in the community. Just kind of give us a little bit of background about who you are.
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity, Tammy. We sure appreciate it. So, me personally, I've been with Skookum Archers for, I want to say 6 to 7 years. Been there. Kind of interesting how we got involved was generally pre-COVID. You know, we have, as most things are, right?
Right.
We have an intro to archery session that we have every Thursday evening. And it's for the public to come in, pay a few dollars, get exposed to the sport of archery and kind of fling some arrows and get some direction from some coaches and stuff like that. And so my daughter was about 9, and we went to a local Renaissance fair, and they had an archery booth there, not related to Skookum, but just archery. And
Sure.
She really enjoyed it, you know. So as all dads do, or parents,
Yeah,
get
fair.
online, hit Google and look for archery, and sure enough, Skookum came up, and this intro to archery session came up. So we started doing that every Thursday night, and we did that for 6-7 months, because I wanted to make sure if we were gonna start investing some money and stuff into this is something that she wanted to do, and she was ready to go every Thursday night. So that kind of set us on the path of joining the club, getting involved, and then eventually getting involved in the board, and eventually becoming president, as I am today. So that's kind of where we're at today.
I love that. I love that it was something that you shared with your daughter, and that her kind of interest and passion for it took you down a path that brought you into like an impactful position where you could actually then give back and help other kids and other people that were interested in that.
And it was interesting because part of that journey was really getting involved in competing in archery. So we've been all over. We went to Cleveland, we go to Las Vegas, we've been all over doing this archery thing, and it's just been a real joyful experience to do that, like you said, from a family perspective.
Yeah, I really love that. And right now, it's so great because it's something you guys can continue to do. There's so many things in our world that have been shut down, and we've been told no, we can't do that. And so I am a big proponent of focusing on what we can do. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because I feel like I want to get the word out about your place there so people can know that there's something that they can do. And I will tell you that I got my husband a bow for Father's Day.
Okay.
So he's been down there a couple times, and he's
Great.
really enjoying it. And I actually tried to shoot. I'm not very good at it. I need to be down there on those Thursday nights, I think.
Yeah, and that's kind of the neat thing about archery is what I have found is that you don't have to be good at it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, it's like anything else. You want to put the time and effort into it and do other things with it, that's great. A majority of the people that come down, I would say probably more than 90% come down. They come down, it's more of a tension release, a stress release, right? You get to just stand out there and just fling some arrows at a target, and you're hoping you hit the target, but at the end of the day, it's just about going through the motions, getting outside, doing those type of things. And absolutely, like what you said, what we can do versus focusing on what we can't do. And obviously we know getting outside, being active, that's the best thing for us anytime, let alone at this time, right? So yeah, we're thankful that we have the ability to fill that role.
So Thursday night is the time that you have that is just open. So if you're a brand new person and you've never done this before, that's your best option, is to come on down. Do you need equipment, or do they have equipment, or how does that work?
Well, so generally, no, we provide the equipment. Unfortunately, because of the restrictions in place, our Thursday nights are on hold right now.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because that's held in our clubhouse, and that's more of an enclosed area, and so we don't really have any options to start that up and maintain the social distancing and stuff that we have.
Gotcha.
Now, with that being said, we do have our outdoor facility, and people are more than welcome to come down if they have their own equipment at this time. And it's just a daily use fee. They can come down, they can use our whole facility for the day and do that. So yeah, we're kind of on hold, and that's kind of the impact of COVID, right? Is not being able to do some of the things that we want to do.
Sure. I mean, we're all facing that, right now. I love that, you still have an option. There's still an option for people. So what other kind of, I guess, things are you guys facing right now that are making things challenging for Skookum? How is that affecting you guys overall?
Yeah, Thursday nights, obviously, with the usage fee and stuff, we brought in revenue that way. And we were always busy. So that's a bit of a hit. Thankfully, we're really secure financially. So, we've actually been able to invest in our property during this time, and a lot more people are coming out to our facility for the day use side, and so we're seeing a bump up in revenue from that. We're getting more members because people are saying, hey, if I'm paying this amount every day to come out, I might as well become a member, right? Because then I have full usage of the facility. And so from that standpoint, yeah, things are down a little bit, but we're really doing well just because of the nature of what we are. I think our location also feeds into that.
Yeah.
You find most outdoor sports locations, unless it's like a trail or something like that, are going to be out of town a ways, right? Because they need space.
Right.
And whereas, we're virtually right in Puyallup. We got 40 acres right here at the edge of town. It's on a major thoroughfare, and so we're really unique from that standpoint to be able to do that and have that available. So I think that helps as well, because people don't feel like I gotta go half an hour out of town just to do this, so I'm just gonna stay home. No, they can just come down the street and participate. So again, from that aspect, I think we've been really lucky to be able to do that.
I'm happy for that. I'm happy that people are still able to do that. Can you share a little bit with me about how Skookum, what their philosophy is in regards to the community and how they get involved and help out with the community?
Skookum, we've been around for a long time. The club was established in 1951, with just a group of guys coming together wanting to, get together and shoot archery, right? And they finally purchased this property in 1959. So we've been here for a lot of years and have watched the community kind of develop around us, right? Pre-COVID, we're all the state fairs. Every year we have about 10,000 people come through our booths at, the state fair, the spring fair, and the sportsman show. We had our Thursday nights, and then we had a community open house to bring people in. And now post-COVID, we've had to get a little creative, right? So just like, I'll give you an example for Halloween. There was the recommendation that kids weren't able to go out and do trick-or-treating. Well, we're really fortunate that the way our property is situated, we're right on Shaw Road, and the road that leads in makes kind of a roundabout on our property. And so what we decided to do, we have all these Halloween decorations because we usually do a Halloween shoot anyways. We said, you know what? Maybe we do like a drive-through trick-or-treating type thing. And so that's what we did. We did a drive-through trick-or-treating and then a food drive as well. We figured if people were coming through, they could contribute. I'll tell you, it was really exciting. We had like 4 different stations around this little roundabout. People didn't have to get out of their cars. They felt safe. All our volunteers had masks on, and we were handing out candy. And, almost every single car that came through, they were so thankful that they were able to do something, right? And their kids were all dressed up and excited to see the decorations and get some candy and all that stuff. And it was, not only thankfulness, but a lot of people saying, hey, I drive past this place every single day. And, I always think I'm going to stop in and I never get a chance to stop in, and here's my opportunity. And it was really neat getting that kind of feedback from the community to say, hey, we're a member of the community. We're trying to help out and trying to do this, for everybody else and do those type of things. And it was really rewarding to be able to do that.
I love what you're talking about with the community. That is exactly where my heart is. It's like, it's actually more rewarding when you're giving like that. You feel like you're getting so much more even than the people that you're doing it for. It's such a blessing to be able to see people touched and that it means something to them. And then you're like, wow, this feels awesome. Our campaign that we've been talking about is Build What Matters. I think you guys are doing that with relationships. You're doing that with the sport, the mental and this physical part of people. You're getting them outdoors. You're building healthy minds and healthy bodies through that. And you're obviously building community, which I love. That's a real big one for me. What would you say is your biggest component of Build What Matters? Is that your family? Is that your the community?
I think personally, family comes first. I've kind of put that first, even from a career standpoint. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to make money, but it's all a matter of what you're willing to sacrifice to do that, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm really thankful that, even here today, right? I'm working from home. My grandson is here. We've struggled through online school and stuff, but just me having the opportunity to do that says a lot to me, versus me having to put my efforts somewhere else in order to put, food on the table and stuff like that. So I've always tried to look from a personal standpoint is how is this going to impact my family, and then how do I reach out from there, and how do we affect our community? How can we help? And it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to show that you care, and it's not about getting something in return. You don't give to receive, you just give to give. And so I've tried to live my life that way. We all struggle with that sometimes, but yeah, I think that's key, because I think that goes further in how we empathize with each other. We all have struggles we're going through, right? And we may not see eye to eye politically or all these other things, but what can we align on, right? Yeah. I know that there's a lot of people in Skookum that I may not align with, certain ways, but I know that we all have archery in common, right? So, and I think anything else, you can always find something that you have in common with somebody else in order to meet them there, rather than, again, focusing on what you don't meet on. Let's focus on what we do meet on, right?
I love that. Yeah, that's so wise and so relevant to what we're dealing with in the world right now. And I think that's such a great philosophy. Do you feel like that is, so that's a personal philosophy. Do you feel like that's a value that carries over into Skookum?
I do. We have a great group of volunteers and a great group of club members. So one of the challenges we face, we have a lot of trees on property, right? And when a storm comes through, inevitably we have a tree come down, which in turn means we have a lot of firewood available, right?
Okay.
There's only so much firewood. I mean, yeah, we have a stove in the clubhouse. There's only so much we can use. But every single time that we have an opportunity and we have available firewood, we try to reach out to see if anybody else needs firewood. I mean, that's what we can offer. And so we've had people, come in and get some wood. They weren't members. They were just members of the community looking, for this opportunity. And it's not to toot our own horn or anything. It's just to say, listen, our propensity is to think of what can we do for the community. And that's what we try to encourage in, not only the board, but, our members in general. And we do have a great group of people that's their focus, is how can we help other people.
Yeah, I think that's so great. And the people that I know that go there, because we have quite a few different people that we're friends with that go there, and their value system very much aligns with that family, right. Doing for others, and so I think that is a great thing for people to know that about Skookum, that they're an important part of our community, that they're giving back when they can. And I think it's a great place even for people to gather. Like you were saying, you're doing something that you all enjoy, and
right.
So you can be focused on that. And we all kind of right now, we need some escape time. We need freedom from what ways we aren't able to gather. It's a struggle. I know you guys are looking into doing some expansion.
Yeah.
Will you share a little bit about that? Do some vision casting for us so we know what's upcoming.
Right. So Skookum Archers has been talking for, 30 years about putting in an indoor range facility, where we can be out of the weather and be indoors. It just, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened, right? And so thankfully, we've gotten some grant money through the state, through, it's called a FAR grant, through Fish and Wildlife. And originally our vision was, okay, we're going to build this indoor range, and this is going to give us revenue opportunities and all these different opportunities. And then we had to take a step back and say, well, okay, wait a minute. We have some infrastructure stuff to take care of first. So we have some storage challenges, and we have equipment, and we've built up our equipment to be able to maintain the property over the years. So right now our focus is building a maintenance building / storage, right? And so that we can put all that equipment in one place, and we have this hodgepodge of plywood storage sheds and stuff that we want to kind of clear out, not only to make the place look nicer, but to make stuff more secure and more weatherproof and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's leading our expansion. Now, with that being said, we thought, obviously our mindset pre-COVID was, okay, we'll get this done with this grant, and then we have a new grant coming up because it comes every 2 years. We can apply. So then we'll go for our indoor range. Well, now here we come to 2020, and we're like, with the restrictions on doing stuff indoors, is an indoor space really the right focus for us?
The best use of our grant.
Right. And it's not to say, hey, 3 years down the road or whatever it takes us to get to that point, that we won't be able to have an indoor facility, right? But at this point in time, what would make a better impact for us? And we got to kind of, we did a little self-reflection on some of the programs that we hold over the years, and we've been really lucky to be involved with Tacoma Pierce County Parks with their adaptive sports program, with kids that are in wheelchairs or limited mobility. We've been able to do some camps with West Seattle Kiwanis with the same type of situation with more adaptive archery. We have an adaptive archery program that we run through Fort Lewis Joint Base McCord, and so we kind of got to looking at our facility, and we're like, we have this flat range that gets a lot of use, but we have this literally a slippery slope that goes down to And so, especially this time of year when it gets wet and muddy, and thankfully we haven't had anybody get seriously hurt, but we got looking at this and we're like, well, wait a minute, maybe we should do something about this. So that's kind of our next big project, is to put in a ramp, a paved ramp. So a paved path from our parking lot to this ramp and a set of stairs, and then paving a path all the way out to our flat range. And then also on our 10, 20, and 30 yard target bales, putting a paved path and an apron around it. So anybody that's in a wheelchair, they want to come out and use the facility, they have an easy, safe way to get down to the flat range, use the facility, and not have to take their life into their own hands trying to do it, right?
Right.
So that's, it's not really stepping away from our vision, because I think it still fits in with our vision of access, inclusion, providing a facility for everyone. It's just a little bit, we're just shifting a little bit. We're pivoting a little bit to, okay, people are outside. How can we make it easier for people to use our facility and so they feel safe? And we think this fits within that. So that's kind of where we're shifting next. But I think overall vision is that we have a very comprehensive archery only facility for people to come enjoy either the outdoors or the indoors all times of the year.
Right.
And that they feel welcome and they feel safe, and that frankly they can do it 24/7 once we get it set up. So I think overall that's what the vision is.
I think that sounds amazing, and I loved hearing about the different programs that you have, that you're working with. I think that is a big deal also when you say build what matters. You're building relationships with partners that you're able to accomplish more when you work together.
Absolutely.
And also, let's ask ourselves, what's somebody already doing that's working well that we can put our efforts toward to impact it in a positive way, instead of just trying to be by ourselves over here and figure out how we can change the world. Let's join with people who are making a difference already. I definitely share that philosophy with you as well, and I love the vision for inclusivity. I think that's so key in every walk of life, that that we have inclusivity and that everyone feels like they have a place. And it sounds like that's really important to you. And I'm happy to hear about that. I feel like I've learned so much about the value system of Skookum and yours as well. It's really neat to hear about how Skookum has impacted you, your family, and then now how you're impacting others. On a less serious note, Ashley would like me to ask you a few rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So what is your favorite city in the US besides the one that you live in now?
Oh boy. I'm really partial to Vancouver, BC. I really like kind of the European vibe there. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Awesome. I love Chicago. I think Chicago is such a beautiful city, and it was so well planned. It's so wide and it looks so clean. When you're just downtown, I have friends there and I think it's a beautiful place. So are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker?
I'm a water drinker.
All right, that's awesome. Actually, sometimes I do that too. I even drink warm water in the morning. So are you a morning person then, or a night owl?
I'm a night owl. I'll have to say I'm a night owl.
Oh, I am not. I am like 8 p.m. Yes, I'm already sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
So how about favorite food?
Oh boy. I would have to go with prime rib. I love my prime rib.
Nice. So. With a big baked potato?
Oh yes. Yeah, that's that's why I look
awesome.
forward to Christmas every year. We do a prime rib every year, and so.
Oh, I love that. Do you make it, or does someone else?
Good.
I love that. Okay, so tell me if our listeners want to find out more about Skookum, what is your website or social media channels that they can hear about Skookum and how they can get involved?
Yeah, so online we're at skookumarchers.com. Generally, there's not many things named Skookum, so if you just start putting in Skookum, we're one of the first things that show up. Otherwise, we're on Facebook, Skookum Archers Club and Range. You can find us on there. Those are our two main places that you can find us. Either place, we're going to have a lot of good information. If you send us a message on Facebook, usually somebody will answer pretty quickly because there's several of us that are
awesome.
working from home and online all the time. So somebody will answer usually right away if you have any questions.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing that. So it's Skookum with 2 K's and 2 O's, right? So
Yeah,
Skookum.
That's correct.
Perfect. Okay, great. So that pretty much wraps us up. I'm just want to encourage people to get out and go over, check out Skookum. I think you'll find it's a great way to spend an afternoon, and I think it's a really cool thing to just expand our horizons and check out something like that, especially because I love what you're doing with the community.
Thanks, Tammy. I sure appreciate it.